Here's your news for February 19th, 2020. We're starting off with news from Raw as the show underwent some serious changes courtesy of Vince McMahon. Before the show, the WWE had been advertising a no-holds-barred match between Randy Orton and Matt Hardy, but instead, fans saw the Viper destroy Matt in what could be the former ECW champion's last WWE appearance. Fightful Select is reporting that though the announced match didn't take place, the company had planned for it to happen before the boss changed the script. They said, "The two had a match announced last week, which was changed the day of Raw. Going into Monday, the plan had been a multi-segment match between the two before Vince McMahon called for a change." On Twitter, Matt's wife Rebby didn't seem too happy about the angle and how the fans responded, so she'll probably be very pleased once her husband is done with WWE. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer said, "I don't expect a match, I think that was pretty much it when discussing Matt's attack, as Hardy's deal with the company ends on March 1st. Meltzer also said that he's been told that this is the end of Matt for sure with WWE, and noted that it would make no sense to bring him back after what's been done by Orton. It's been previously reported that the plan for Orton is to face Edge at WrestleMania 36, and with Matt out of the picture, the Viper's attention can once again turn to the Rated R superstar. With Matt's contract expiring on Sunday, March 1st, fans shouldn't expect to see him the next night on Raw, but there'll still be plenty of big names to see. On Twitter, the Barclays Center, which will host the March 2nd show, announced that WWE Champion Brock Lesnar will be appearing, marking the Beast's first appearance since attacking Ricochet on the February 3rd edition of Raw. Though WWE hasn't promoted Lesnar for the show yet, it's likely that he'll be there as we get closer to WrestleMania, and Lesnar has also been announced for next week's Raw, which will take place at the MTS Place in Winnipeg. Though having the Beast on the March 2nd show will be a huge draw for the Red brand, he reportedly isn't the only big name set to appear. According to Brad Shepard on Twitter, Edge is also set to appear on the March 2nd show, but his return could also come on the March 9th edition of Raw from Washington, D.C. As we've previously stated, the reported plan is for Edge to face Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and given how much the Rated R superstar is being paid per appearance, it's no wonder why WWE is using him sparingly. If rumors are to be believed, Edge is set to have multiple matches this year in a return that can only be described as miraculous following his retirement in 2011. From one Hall of Famer to a possible future inductee, as John Bradshaw Layfield is reportedly set to be inducted this year. According to Wrestling Inc., the former WWE champion will be entering the group of elite superstars this year, joining Batista and the New World Order, who have already been announced. The Texan isn't the only big name to be reported for this year's ceremony, which will take place on the Thursday before WrestleMania 36, as there have been reports that the Bella Twins and Jushin Thunder Liger will also be inducted. Brad Shepard also reported this week that the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith is also set to receive his long-awaited induction, and if true, this year's Hall of Fame could be one of the most loaded classes of all time. We are looking at the topic of locker room leaders now, as well there's been plenty of talk of The Undertaker and later Roman Reigns being the go-to stars of the men's locker room. There's never been much talk about who leads the women. This week, Sonya Deville sat down for an interview with RondaRousey.com and spoke about who she feels are the leaders of the women's locker room. She said, "Bayley is definitely one. She's like the locker room leader always. She's someone you could go to for advice or if you have questions about how things work or whoever it was. She's definitely a natural leader in the locker room. Becky was someone that I always went to too. Becky's cool because she's one of those people that leads by example." It certainly makes sense that Bayley and the man are leaders, as they're both veterans of the business, lifelong fans, and have experienced both the highs and lows in the company. Maybe there'll come a time when Deville herself is considered a locker room leader, but for now, the former MMA fighter can focus on capturing her first title in the company in 2020. Now, we've already mentioned that Randy Orton isn't exactly the most pleasant person in the ring, just ask Matt Hardy or Edge, but the Viper isn't too much different on social media. Last week, the team of Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne captured the NXT Tag Team titles at TakeOver Portland, and Riddle decided to take to Twitter to share this incredible moment in his career. This tweet caught the attention of Orton, who said he hated Riddle when he came to the company, but gets the appeal of the King of Bros now. Orton also wished Riddle good luck in his career, but also used some very un-PG language to tell him to get lost, as it seems that the Viper's icy demeanor isn't thawing anytime soon. Now, we here at Slatrock try to avoid getting political, but sometimes there is a story that we simply can't ignore. This week, former WWE superstar and Divas champion Eve Torres became the latest woman to come forward about inappropriate behavior from Donald Trump, claiming that the billionaire president forcefully grabbed and pulled at her during a photo shoot with Trump and other divas in 2009. That year, Trump was part of a brief WWE storyline where he bought Monday Night Raw, and there's plenty of photographic evidence that the president did appear alongside Torres. On President's Day, Eve took to Instagram to say, "I look forward to having a president who doesn't grope or objectify women. I have taken pictures with thousands of men at military bases, at WWE events and signings, and very few have grabbed me and pulled me in as forcefully as he did without knowing me. Of course, at the time, I believed it was my job to be eye candy in a photo for this supposed billionaire and play along. It's actually hard for me to see that photo because it reminds me of my beliefs about my worth at the time." Eve isn't the only member of WWE to accuse the president of poor conduct, as former 24/7 champion Maria Kanellis has spoken out about being fired from The Celebrity Apprentice in 2010 after mentioning toilets. Back to the ring now, as with WrestleMania 36 drawing near, the WWE has been carefully preparing for the biggest show of the year. On this week's SmackDown, Carmella will face Naomi, with the winner getting a shot at the SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley at Super Showdown, though the plans for WrestleMania is reportedly already set in stone. During Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez commented that the plan for WrestleMania is for Bayley and Naomi to face off, though it's unclear whether fans will see that match in Riyadh on February 27th. Bayley's reign as SmackDown Women's Champion is the longest in the title's 3.5-year history, but with WrestleMania approaching, it seems that the former hugger's days with the gold may be numbered. We're taking a break from the ring now, as when WWE and their band CFO $sign were working together, they were able to make many different projects come to life. But now that the partnership is over, WWE has been left to figure out what's next. According to Fightful Select, CFO $sign had an issue with their publisher, and the band was out a significant cut of money when it comes to their publisher deal. The report also states that WWE tried to buy CFO $sign out of their contracts, but their publisher rejected the idea. They said, "The plan that we'd heard was that WWE hoped to bring them in-house, but the talks got to a standstill and eventually ran out. It's thought that CFO $sign have a non-compete with their publisher, which is why they haven't returned." The departure of CFO $sign has had a major effect on WWE, who haven't uploaded anything to their lucrative WWE Music Group YouTube channel in the past 6 months. It's also been reported that Doug J. Davis is now working with WWE's music division, as with the company's ever-expanding roster, there will always be a need for new entrance themes. We've got some news from WWE behind the scenes, as Adam Pearce enjoyed a lengthy wrestling career before settling down for a job with the company as a producer. This week, though, Pearce took to Twitter to ask the fans for their help, as he seems to be going through some sort of family crisis. Pearce didn't go into detail about what's happening with his family, but did ask anyone who prays to send a prayer his way, while saying that he'll take whatever good vibes people who don't pray can give. Obviously, we can't comment much about what Pearce is going through, but we at Slatrock would like to send our best to him with whatever's going on. We're looking back at Raw, as though this week's show had a lot of actions for the fans in Washington who attended. One segment left everyone very confused. During the show, Riddick Moss defeated R-Truth and Mojo Rawley to retain his 24/7 championship, and if you noticed a lack of enthusiasm from the crowd, it's because there had been no announcements prior to the match. Before the match, no ring introductions were made, and there had been no mention of the match being for the 24/7 title, according to Brian Alvarez, who attended live. On the Wrestling Observer Radio, he said that it took him a few minutes before realizing this was a triple threat match, and it was never announced that the 24/7 title was at stake. Hopefully WWE will inform their live crowd next time that something like this happens, as the fans really shouldn't have to be the ones left to figure out whether a match is happening or not. We are going back in time to 2004, as last week marked 16 years since Eddie Guerrero's historic WWE Championship win. Defeating Brock Lesnar at No Way Out, Eddie's win was an incredible story of David beating Goliath, which is why it was all the more tragic when Guerrero died aged 38 on November 13, 2005. This week, Eddie's widow Vicky appeared on the Talk is Jericho podcast and spoke about her last moments with Latino Heat, saying she got a call at 5:30 a.m. from her husband but didn't pick up, wrongly thinking they could speak later. She said, "For some reason, that morning, he just stayed a little longer with us. After the fact, when he passed away, we were like, gosh, was this what was going on?" Another thing to that was that morning that he passed away, I got a phone call at 5:30 in the morning and it was Eddie. But usually, he would just call and wait for me to call him back whenever I'd wake up. And for some reason, I heard it and I was like, no, I'll just call him back later when I wake up. And I hate myself every day because if I had answered it, I would have heard from him. And that's something you just never know. You never know what God has in store for you that day. Though Eddie Guerrero is gone, his legacy will never be forgotten, as he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame the next year, and countless current stars of WWE have cited Latino Heat as a huge inspiration in their careers. And finally, we've got some news from the WWE Performance Center, as the company has confirmed that Tito Ortiz has been training there. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer commented that he's heard great things about his work ethic, and the 45-year-old is no stranger to wrestling, as he worked briefly with TNA in 2013. Speaking with WrestleZone in 2019, Ortiz showed great interest in a WWE run, specifically name-dropping potential opponents like Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman, though time will tell whether he follows in the footsteps of Cain Velasquez and makes it to WWE.